Hello creatives! We're going to be creating this little autumn picture together. So the supplies we will need are some watercolor paper. It's nice to have a paper with a little texture. You will need a pencil, a black inked pen, and some wide, thick paintbrushes, as well as some paints. So I'm just using regular children's paints like this, and even my very old, faithful paint like this. So as you can see, we're having very simple supplies for today. And of course, a jar or a cup of water. So we're ready to get started. I'm going to start by spraying my watercolors, my paints. So I just give it a little light spray like this. I'm going to take my widest paintbrush. So it's just a simple paintbrush. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to just paint some blobs type thing of different colors. So I'm kind of going with autumn colors. So I add some yellow, maybe some orange. Sometimes I made straight strokes like this, and as it gets to the middle, I kind of add little blobs. So if it's wet on wet, you also get amazing, beautiful patterns like this, which is kind of fun. So some parts I make a little bit darker. I kind of want to fill the edges of my paper. But apart from that, I'm not really stuck to anything, any pattern or anything specific. I add in some yellow, some brown, maybe even a touch of green as the leaves are changing. So this is a project that anybody, any age, any level of art can do because it's so simple. But it's such a beautiful little project that you can use for cards, for a little calendar. I think it's so simple. Oops, I'm gonna have some little drips, but that's okay. If you want to have even more drips, you just tip your paper the other direction. That kind of adds something as well, I think. So something like this, I would need to give it some more water. Come on, drip. I don't mind the little dots. And I'm leaving a little bit of opening here. I have a little hair here from the paintbrush. I don't mind leaving a little bit of white in my picture either. Get a little bit more orange. So you can add in all your favorite colors of autumn. I love the reds, the browns, and like I said, I added a little green, a touch of green. If it's wet, it kind of just blends in really nicely. Okay, well, I think that's it. I'm not going to put too much because I want to leave some space as well. You'll notice that when your page dries, because that's our next step, we're going to have to let it dry, it's going to dry much lighter. But that's okay. That's why don't feel bad to add even some dark brown like this and red, because in the end we're not going to see them so well. Okay, so our next step is to put it aside and letting it dry. Moving on, I have another sheet of paper. This time it's a little bit smaller, but the same size will do. I'm going to paint this one different colors. So I'm still gonna stick to the colors of autumn, but instead I'm going to make little squares of those colors. So I'll start with orange, I'm gonna go to red, and it's okay, it's kind of nice as they blend in together like that. I'm going to make a brown color. She looks a bit orangish, but maybe I'll add in a little bit of darker brown. And you can let the water kind of make its own shape and pattern. Not shape, but just a pattern. Oh, this is kind of similar, isn't it? So I'm gonna go with a darker brown for this little square. So if you're just a beginner and if you prefer to have some straight lines, you can divide your paper into 6 little boxes. But I'm just going by looks here. It's not super important that it's so straight. I'm going to add a yellow. And my last color will be a yellow-green. If you don't have this exact color, I just mixed a green and yellow together and I kind of got this green color. So now we've finished our second page and we can put this aside for it to dry. So after a little patience and waiting for my papers to dry, here they are. So I have the little one. It's a little bit crumbly, a little bit wrinkled, but it's okay. I have my big page here, which I decided I'm going to half it. So I'm just going to take my pencil and ruler here and draw a line right across and cut it out. You can go ahead and use your full page if you like. I just decided I'll make mine a little bit smaller. So I will use both eventually. I'm going to start with one. So we can put this one aside. This will be our background. And we're going to work on this one for now. So you can go ahead and use your pencil if you like. I'm going to draw just a few different autumn shapes that I like. And I'm going to decide which colors I want them to be. So I think I'd like a pumpkin here. So I'm going to make a big, fat, round pumpkin. Not sure if you can see. Make the little bulges. Something like that. And I might do another pumpkin here. I'm gonna make a green one. This one will be a little bit of a different kind of pumpkin, a little bit longer. And I'm going to do some, I think in the brown color, I'm going to make some acorns. So what you do is you just choose some of your favorite autumn shapes, autumn objects. I'm doing everything related to nature here. And I might make a leaf here. And I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of my page for lots of different autumn leaves. Actually, first I'm going to make an apple. Apple is also part of autumn, because that's when we pick our apples. And you can use your pencil, or you can go ahead right away and use your pen too. I'm just deciding where I want each of my leaves to try to save the most space. So I'm making like different, I'm sorry, maybe you can't see so clearly with my pencil. I'll go ahead and ink some so that you can have a better idea of the shape leaves that I'm drawing. You can also go ahead and pick some from nature. I'm going to make actually one other little shape. I'm going to go ahead and make a mushroom. Mushrooms are also, it's mushroom season. Maybe I'll make a red one. And any leftover space, I just fill it with leaves. Even if they kind of blend into each other, I think that's really cool because that's the change of the leaves' color. That's what's wonderful about autumn, all the beautiful colors. So once I have my whole picture, my whole page full, or even maybe one here, pretty cool, I go ahead and ink it. So you use your black marker. Sorry, your black pen. If you want your lines a little thicker, you can use a marker. And I make sometimes the little patterns of the leaves. You don't have to. So I kind of drew a variety of leaves. Some acorns. So I'm making these for some little thank you cards. It's a simple project, but it ends up being very beautiful and meaningful. I think nowadays it's so special to receive a little gift handmade. So if you're thinking of making something for somebody, or you want to just say a little thank you, or maybe it's their birthday, maybe they've done something special for you, then don't underestimate the power of just a little handmade gift like this. Nowadays, with social media, with email, with SMS, with so many different apps and phones, and we've lost the touch of the personal touch, I think. And it's very rare to receive something handmade, so let this be a little treat to somebody that you love. And see the smile on their face as they receive it. Let's make the apple. Maybe I won't go ahead and draw them all, but just some of them, so maybe it will give you also the opportunity to fill in your own shapes that you would like. So for the pumpkin, I'm just doing a stem like that and a little bulge in the middle to start with. And the one on the bottom, I kind of match them together, but leave them separate. And our next one, I like making little lines and then I end with a dot. And then our full go. If you want, you can even go ahead and make some back, the ones in the back. Here's our next little squash or pumpkin. This one is more like a squash, I guess. Still in the pumpkin family. So as you're making this, think about all the things you love about autumn, the beautiful colors, your favorite colors, and then think about somebody that you would want to make this for. You can already be thinking about a little message that you want to add. So for this leaf, I make 3 like this, and then the little ones like that. And some I just make normal, super simple with a line in the middle. I kind of like adding the little stem, especially when it's autumn leaves, because the leaves are on their own and they usually fall off the tree that way as well. I try to use every little bit of space that I can. The more you draw, of course, the more you're going to have to cut out as well. Here I didn't draw any, but I'm going to fill up the space with another leaf, even though it's a bit curved. It's kind of cute, blowing in the wind. And add some more until every little space is taken on my paper. There we go. I might even add little berries on the red part. Something like that. Okay, so now that we're done with our pen, we can erase all the lines. Okay, well, I won't do that all the way right now, but just to show you if you've done your pencil lines, you have to go very gently just so the paint doesn't come off too. I won't do them all. Some don't really bother me, especially on these dark points. Maybe the lighter colors, you'll see your line strokes a little bit more. And if you're comfortable with your drawing skills, you don't even need the pencil. You just draw directly with the pen. Okay, well, once you're done your erasing, we're going to go ahead and cut our shapes out. So I'm not doing exactly on the line. I don't mind leaving a little space. It's a lot easier, and also it kind of fits the style of handmade. I think nobody will notice. So here's our little leaf shape. I'm going to cut out our pumpkin. You just kind of follow your lines, but it doesn't have to be exactly straight. Sometimes you can even make straight lines instead of curved. I think that's still kind of cute. For example, like this, like this. It ends up being cute any way that you do it. So another little bit of a time-consuming part is the cutting out. I have these really big scissors. I think it would be easier if my scissors were a little bit smaller. All right, well, I'll let you go ahead and do that part. And I've already cut out some of mine, so I'm going to show you how I put them on my paper. But of course, you're free to do it any way that you wish. So here's my here is my blank background. I have my pumpkin. Actually, I have two. So I did some ahead of time so that the cutting process wouldn't take as long. So I have two pumpkins actually. I'm going to take maybe the darker one and this one. I'm going to put my pumpkins in the middle. So for that, you have two options. You can either use a piece of tape, cut a little piece, and I'm just going to fold it on itself and put it behind, and I'm doing it in the middle like this. You can do that, or you can just use a dab of glue. Both will work. I like the tape personally because it kind of gives the look that they're a little bit 3D. See, they kind of, I'm not sure if you can tell, but they kind of pop out, and I think that's really cute. So I have my pumpkins there, and then I'm going to start putting everything else around. So I have my little, and you can decide however you want to do it. Before I go ahead and glue or tape, I'm just going to kind of eyeball and decide where I want everything. So I'm kind of going around, and I kind of decide on the colors. Kind of, if I have a brown here, I'm not going to put a brown right next to it. I'll kind of even it out. Maybe I'll put a green one here, one that's red. So as you see, your background kind of is hidden, but it's still very much so there because it kind of makes it all stand out. Maybe I'll put my leaf there and my apple in the middle, something like that. Once I'm happy with the look of it, I'm going to go ahead and... So for the bigger ones, I might use a piece of tape. Oops, didn't come off. And for the smaller ones, I'm just going to use a dab of glue. I'm kind of keeping them all at the same place, because that way I know where to put each one. And I start with the ones that are behind. So this one is behind and I give it a nice push. Just one little dab is good enough. I like the variety of all the different colors. So that's why we made all different colors. I think it's a beautiful thing about autumn. So I made those first. So if you have space in between, you kind of put it. I should have put those afterwards. That's why you want to start with the shapes, your objects that are behind. Moving on to the last few. And this glue is, you kind of wait, it dries in a few minutes, so don't feel bad if you've made a mistake and you want your object somewhere else. For example, I'm wondering if it's too much adding this leaf. Maybe I'll add it here to the bottom instead, kind of fill out this space. So there's not really any rhyme and reason to my layout. It's just what you feel is nice and what makes you happy. And I will add a little message. So whether it's a birthday message or a thank you, you can choose what you like. I cut out a little piece of paper, cardstock, and I'm going to add my message in the back here. You can even add a little circle or a little square. So for example, here I made thank you very much in French, merci beaucoup. But this shape I think is a little bit too big for that, so that's why I'm going with a skinny shape. So first I'm just going to pencil it. I just like the mix of the lettering, so I'm making a cursive, merci, and then beaucoup will be in script. I mean in print. Something like that. And then I will do it with my pen. But again, you use whatever little message you want to send. I realized I had a little extra space. And then I'm just going to add in a little bit of black to the downstrokes of my cursive to kind of stand out a little bit more for the merci. Now, I put back my picture here and I'm ready to glue my little message in place. So I will add 2 little dabs. I've written it twice on either sides, so you can see. And I chose my favorite one. It's okay to make mistakes. I didn't want it on my paper here. And then you add it to the back. Push it down. And we have our beautiful little autumn picture. You can go ahead and sign it if you like. And you're all done. I hope you enjoyed this little activity. See you next time.